Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Getting ready to go on live for the draft, day number 3. And this is kind of different for us because, I've been used to having the last two being in Kansas City and in Detroit for the draft, having the gang all together, and we're waking up at the hotel and, we're getting down to the NFL Village. The thing that's crazy, and if you've never been to a draft, the first night, the crowds are unbelievable in Detroit. Oh my God, that was packed. It was definitely the biggest draft that I had been to, and I think I've been to 6 or 7 of them. The first night is the big night. The second night, still a lot of people. But if you watched last night in Green Bay, with the rain and the cold weather and people having to be so far away, it wasn't that many people. In fact, when you started seeing some of the shots back, it's basically the people that were in the pavilion there. You didn't see that many people, the last couple of hours of the draft in the main village. Well, the third day, it's literally empty. It's like a ghost town almost. And literally they're pulling people in to be underneath the canopies to kind of make sure it looks like there's a crowd there. And I dare say that you could almost get pulled out of the crowd to call a player out there because there's so few. So there's not a lot of going on this day, of course. And usually by about the 4th or 5th round, or actually by the 5th round, we're exiting the building and heading on over to head on back home because we're driving back home. So we'll be here actually today. It's nice that I don't have to drive, halfway across the country and stuff. But I started thinking about the resentment that we get as fans. And it hit me that I'm one of those guys, I hate fantasy football. I hate fantasy football because it's not real. I'll have to call you back, Momo. It's not real. It's fantasy football. And what happens when you play fantasy football is you start to think that all I have to do is trade for a player and put them on my roster and I'm good to go. That's the perception that you have with fantasy football. All I got to do is just trade a player. And it doesn't work out that easy that you can just take a quarterback automatically from that team one week and put him on your team this week. I hate it. And I've always been one of those guys that everybody's like, oh, you got to do your mock drafts. I don't like mock drafts. I don't like mock drafts because, again, it's not based in any reality. Yeah, I understand. You're going to get to know who the players are and you're looking at what teams may need, but it's so far and away from reality. And they are so far off that you're beginning to set up fans believing that what you're looking at is real when it's not. See, here's the problem for Cowboy fans. And we're getting the same thing right now because now you're seeing the draft rankings. So I'm seeing somebody posted on Twitter. Let me see who it was. NFL Scout. Okay, so they done gone through, and they've rated Dallas Cowboys Draft Grades a D. The only D on there. Everybody else, you got Titans, or A and Bs, I only see 3 Cs, and the Cowboys are only D. So now you read something like this, oh, the Cowboys screwed up. Oh, the Cowboys suck. And that's the same thing with the mock draft. Everybody was mad that the Cowboys didn't draft Golden. Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden was right there, man. We should have. And they don't know shit really about Matthew Golden. They don't know crap about Matthew Golden. If they knew about Matthew Golden, they'd understand that, yeah, he had a stretch in a season where he was really, really good. But when they were playing elite competitions and trying to really roll, he kind of disappeared. But because of all these mock drafts that kept saying the Cowboys are going to go for Tet, or going to be Matthew Golden, they got it set in their heads that this is the only way that you're going to win is by getting those 2 players. And if we don't get one of those 2 players, then we're shit. We're shit. We're losers. And it drives you crazy because here's the problem. Right now, you're getting draft grades, right? Your draft grades are based on your evaluations of players that may be completely wrong. So if you think, like, say a couple years ago, that Vince Young is the number one prospect, of course, the team that drafted him, they get a great grade. But in reality is Vince Young had basically one good year and was never really that good. So when you look back at it, going back at it, it wasn't a great pick. And we've gone through where people hated the Zach Martin and Travis Frederick picks and even the Micah Parsons. They'll tell you, oh, it's a reach. You don't know. Nobody honestly knows. But we now set up people having resentment because of the narrative that's being set. We'll sit here and we'll take a player that's really actually doing great things, like, say, Dak Prescott, that if he was on another team and doing the same things, they tell you, oh, it's great numbers and everything else. But because they set the narrative of, we need the Dallas Cowboys to get people to watch by trashing them and telling you how stupid it is, it's not based in any reality whatsoever. And I realize that the draft grades, the mock drafts, the fantasy footballs are all ways of making you literally set an opinion on what's right and what's wrong. And it sucks. It really and truly sucks. And it's one of those things that kind of piss me off. You can't honestly tell me that, like this NFL scout ranking the Dallas Cowboys first round draft pick, that's the only D. That's the only D. Only 3 C's and 1 D. Everybody else in A or B. Okay. Yeah, it's all based on bullshit. And understand, don't let them trick your emotions. Don't let them try and tell you the outcome that they don't really know. Nobody knows how any single one of those guys, from Cam Ward on down, how they're going to be in the NFL. All righty, good people. The draft is just about to be on, and I need to get up to it. Peace out.
So I like it. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there. Let's go back to the top here. Let's see here. So who else?
There is a lot. I mean, there's going to be people that are throwing in rotations. I think there's a couple of them in there that are really starter worthy. It's going to be which ones, which ones are there by the time we go to pick.
Yeah, and do we think they're going to get back in the first round? That's the thing.
Or the fourth?
First round.
Fourth round. Fourth round. Fourth round.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think they stay and they take all, they want to keep all their, they would need to take a fifth and a sixth in order to move up into the fourth.
I love Caldwell, Jamari Caldwell. He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe he is.
He's gone already. But I mean, he's kind of he was kind of overdrafted, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
It took him way early.
When he was in Oregon, like he kind of like got swallowed up by the rest of that rotation. And I really felt like even if when you watch his like replays and you see any of his stuff, like majority of the time when he's making the play, it's because the play broke down and he happened to be in that area. I hate to say it like that.
He was number 18 overall. There's
that isn't bad though. That's still not bad.
4, 5. There's 10 guys ahead of him. So
for that position,
I like
the tackle position.
Maybe in this round, not last round.